Hi, and good morning, everyone. My name is Carly Bell, and I love to do machine embroidery tutorials. And today we are continuing with our Candy Cane Lane bench pillow sew along. I'm super excited because this is the last week of the sew along. The pillow will be finished this week. Actually, I'm accomplishing something before the holiday, like when I set out to make a Christmas pillow. It's going to be done before Christmas. So I'm really proud of myself that I am getting something done on time, kind of. So good morning, everyone. Let me say hi to, I see Dee and Linda. Hey, Shayna. Joanna, good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a great Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. So today I got a few exciting new things to talk about. And we have a special guest. So the project for today is to work on the borders for the pillow. So that's what we're going to be teaching today. But before we get started, I got a call from a good friend of mine that's telling me that he is starting a new show. So I was like, you should come on my show and tell all my friends about it. So I want y'all to say hi to my friend Blaine Austin, everyone.
Well, hello, Carly.
Hello, Blaine. Long time no see.
I'm telling you what, and guess what? Blaine's back.
Yay! So excited.
And
So
so I got to
excited.
say hi to all the Sip and Stitch crew out there on
Yes.
Carly's channel. But
Yes.
you're right, Carly. We are. I'm back, and as y'all can see or over on this side, see that's right, the sign over here. And I joined Stitch It International, and so everybody probably knows me from Sewing Machines Plus at
Mhm.
SMP, and I made the move in August. I left the company on August the 22nd, and we moved. Michelle and I moved to Missouri, and to Patton, Missouri, or is where the company's located. We moved to Jackson, Missouri, is where
Uh-huh.
we're living, but. Patton, Missouri. I started with Stitch It International, and we're starting our very first live show, Carly, this Wednesday.
I'm so excited. I'm so glad that you're going to be back online and so that we can see you and talk with you. And I'm so excited about your new job and Stitch It International. I was a little bit familiar with before from you
Yep,
because they help manufacture the SWF embroidery
correct.
machines, right?
Yes. So most people probably know Stitch It International. They are or we are, I guess you should say now, we are the North American distributor for the SWF embroidery machines. And everybody loves those embroidery machines. You know,
Yes.
that's the ones I used to sell out there at SMP,
Hmm.
the 12 needle, and we just love that machine. So that's where I'm at now, but we've kind of changed things up. So we are still the North American distributor for SWF, but we're going to be distributing that under the SWF-USA.com website. And that is already launched and up. And we're revamping Stitch It International to an e-commerce site. And that will be launched. There's a site up there now, but it's not the e-commerce side.
Hmm.
We're working really hard to get that done, and hopefully we'll get that launched just pretty soon, and you'll be able to buy all the brands from us now, and
Yeah.
we'll have those on all the brands, and hopefully we'll have you on pretty quick too.
Yay. So great. So this is going to be a website that we can go to for all of our machine needs and then hopefully some supplies as well.
Yes, we are going to be going to supplies now. I'm not going heavily into it like we did at SMP, but
Hmm.
we're going to have some accessories, some notions, and a few things, supplies.
Hmm.
We've already developed a new software that we're going to be launching, embroidery software that is just
Ooh.
fantastic. It's called Stitch Maker Pro,
Okay.
Digitizing Pro, and it's just a huge, like an all-in-one suite that you get.
Oh, nice.
And we've already got that ready. That'll be on the website for purchase. It's just awesome. And naturally, we're putting up all the machines now. We'll have all, Baby Lock Janome, and we're going to have, Juki and console industrial machines, and just, the same old stuff. Arrow cabinets. We're going to have that Grace products. So we've just been
Nice.
working really hard trying to get all those products. And you know what's crazy? It's you just don't realize how much work is involved putting up products from scratch, like
Oh,
starting.
yeah.
So we've
I can
got
imagine.
all hands on deck right now trying to get it done.
That's amazing. So this is so exciting. I'm so excited for you. I'm so proud of you. You're just doing all these things.
Well, thanks, Carly. I appreciate that.
Because
Well,
I mean, that's a huge undertaking.
oh, it is. It really it's been a lot, and I tell you what, we got just a fantastic staff here at Stitch International, and and I've got a surprise that we've added a person since I've been here, and that's a surprise too. Everybody will have to tune into my show on Wednesday to find out who that person is, but we have got so many things in store and planned, and like I think you went to 2 years ago, you went to the Impression Show in Long
Yes.
Beach, California. We're
Yes.
going to be there with the SWF, so we'll be out in the Impressions in Long Beach in
Nice.
January. I can't remember exactly the dates. It's like January 15th. It's around mid January.
Mid-January, yeah, if I remember right.
And so we'll be out there for that. So if anybody's out there, make sure you come by and say hi to us at the Stitch It International SWF booth.
Yay.
And so we got just tons of things planned. I can't wait to get going and, trying to get guests lined up. And hopefully we'll have you on our show too. And,
Yes.
but I know you're busy all the time. So you got a lot of things going on, but hopefully you can squeeze out some time to come on our show.
I'll pencil you in. I'll make it work.
But our show, you can be able to find it. It's Stitch It International on YouTube, Stitch International on Facebook. I encourage everybody to go, subscribe to our channels and like our Facebook page. That way you'll get the notifications. And you can go on right now. You could go on Stitch It International's website. We don't have the e-commerce site there, but there's a place that you can sign up for our newsletter or emails. You could go ahead and sign up for that, and you'll get notified when we send everything out and all the specials that we do. But got a lot of stuff in store, Carly, and and naturally we're going to give some, have some giveaways and
That's awesome.
some fun stuff.
Yay. Okay, so I just put in the chat the link to Stitch It International's YouTube. And right now I'm putting the link to Stitch It International's Facebook. So you can go follow them on both of those platforms. And then you will see if you follow and get notifications, you'll see when Blaine goes live for his first show on Wednesday. And y'all can all tune in. And I'm so excited for you. I can't wait to see what all you do, because I know it's going to be amazing.
Well, I'm trying to, I'm always trying to push the bar. I'm always trying to come up with things different. So we're really going to try to come up with some new and exciting things here. And as everybody can probably see that know me, I've got a new look.
Yes, we're digging the beard. Definitely digging the beard.
Quit shaving. I wear, what's so awesome about it? I wear a t-shirt and hat and shorts to work every day. But right now I had to put jeans on because it's 11 degrees out.
Yes, it was 30, 31 here in New Orleans, Louisiana. And here's the difference between my two kids. My youngest, she had on like 4 layers of clothing, 2 pants, a scarf, earmuffs, the hat, all the things, right? She's like, it's too cold to go to school. I'm like, it's not snowing. It's not too cold. You can go. Abigail, skirt, no pants, no leggings, nothing. I'm like, you're going to freeze to death. She's like, it's hot, Mom, in the classroom.
Carly, these kids don't have any temperature reading. I'm telling you, Michelle and I, it was 11 degrees yesterday, and Michelle and I went to Walmart, I think it was, or some store last night, and there was a kid, probably 10 years old, a t-shirt, no jacket or nothing, short sleeve shirt on. And I'm like, is this kid? They don't feel it, I guess. I don't know.
It's not cool. Well, I know with Abigail, she thinks the leggings look stupid with her skirt. Like she thinks that messes up her look. And I'm like, health is more important than looks.
Well, I got used to all that nice weather in California, so it's it's been a little bit of a change for me. I'm telling you. Uh,
Yeah.
Michelle and I will take the dogs out, and even our dogs, they don't like it. they they don't waste too much time outside. They're ready to go back in.
Yeah, and it's most definitely gonna snow up there, huh? That's a
We've
snowy
already had
area?
one about 2 weeks
Wow.
ago. I think it was on a Wednesday. We actually got a couple inches, and it didn't stick around. It melted pretty fast, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, it was pretty. We have Michelle has a little video she shot outside our house at night. It was just, man, it was coming down huge flakes, and
Mhm.
just didn't last. I don't mind the snow. I just don't want the ice.
The ice, yeah. That's what we learned in January when we had that heavy snow here, that the no one can function. No vehicle, no airport, no
Yeah.
nothing.
You remember back in 2018, I
Mhm.
think it was 2018, or no, it's 2017. 2017, that winter, it
Mhm.
shut Louisiana down. I
Oh,
was
yeah.
I was in Baton Rouge, and they have to shut Interstate 10 down because it was so icy,
It was
and
icy, yep,
oh my gosh, it was terrible.
I
So yeah,
remember. Yeah.
it just shut the whole city down, and I'm sure, New Orleans was the same. So,
Mhm. Yeah, we don't function well with ice or
well,
snow.
here they got all the trucks with the
Yeah,
salt. They're
y'all
all
are
ready for
prepared.
it. So,
Right.
but
We
yeah, they
went
don't even know what that is down in Louisiana.
No, because like, we actually went to Gatlinburg, Tennessee the week before it snowed here in Louisiana, and, we got up there and it was freezing, it was gonna snow, and of course, Chris picked the cabin all the way at the top of the mountain, so the driveway was like this, and, freaking out because it's supposed to be 11 degrees when we're supposed to check out that morning, and probably ice on the and we're talking to everyone, like, at the restaurants and the places that we're going to, visit, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, it's no big deal." Like, we're scared to death we're gonna fall off the mountain. Everyone else that lives there, like, it's no big deal.
Not a big deal.
No big deal. You just slide. It's fine. Just, you know.
I remember I went to college with this guy from Michigan, and he played on the football team, and we stayed in the same dorm, and we used to go to lunch and stuff together all the time. And he wore I'm not exaggerating a bit. He wore shorts year round.
In
And I
Michigan.
remember we had a huge snow, and we were in Russellville, Arkansas, when I was a freshman in college.
Mhm.
We were a huge snow, and it was down like in the teens. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was like way below 20 degrees outside. And that dude finally put on a hoodie, like a regular old hoodie over his head, but he still had his shorts on. And we'd walk all the way from the dorm to lunch, and it wasn't a short walk. And I mean, he was out. He'd go to classes like way, and I was like, one time
Did
I went
not
to him. I
affect
said,
him.
George, how do you stand it? And he goes, it's not cold to me. I'm like, dude, it's cold to everybody.
Yes. Mm. So, oh my goodness. Well, it's been
Well,
so
Carly,
great
thank you
catching
so
up
much for
with
bringing
you.
me on.
Yes.
It's been awesome, and I hope there's the old SMP Nation out there watching right now. But guess
Yes.
what, Carly? Our new name for the people watch the show, the new show, is going to be
Ooh.
called Stitch Nation.
Stitch
So,
Nation. I
yeah,
love it.
so all the Stitch Nation needs to come and watch Stitch It live with me, and we're going to develop a big Stitch Nation following out there, and have a lot of fun.
Yay. I'm so excited. I know you're going to do amazing things. I can't wait to watch it all and hopefully maybe be a part of it a little bit and come visit
Oh,
you
you
on your
will.
new show.
You
So,
will. I definitely.
congratulations. Tell
Well,
Michelle
thank
we
you.
all said hi, and we're hope you're doing well, settling in well, and I'm so glad you get to be closer to your family too.
Oh my gosh, 3 hours away. We've already been down there a couple times. They've been here and went there for Thanksgiving. They're coming here for Christmas, and we haven't got to do that in a long time. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's the reason we moved. I mean, the main thing we moved was to get closer to family.
yeah.
And actually, we're going this weekend to Louisiana to celebrate
Eh,
Christmas with Michelle's family.
all right. Well, give me a call if you're down this way.
All right. Thanks, Carly.
All right.
See y'all
See
later.
you later, Blaine.
Bye.
All right, so that was such a fun surprise. I hope y'all enjoyed getting to see my friend Blaine. I've been friends with Blaine, goodness, for 5 years now. We met through the internet, and with him working at Sewing Machines Plus, and we've become good friends over the years. And so when he left and he said he was moving, I was like, where you going? What you doing? And then he told me about his new job and everything. So I was so excited and proud that he's doing some awesome things at Stitch It International, and we get to see more of him in the future. So I hope y'all enjoyed that little surprise today. And now let's go ahead and get started working on our bench pillow. So what we are doing today is the borders for the bench pillow. So we have this patchwork, we're going to call that the outer border, and this little thin teal line is going to be the inner border. And we are going to quilt both of those long pieces on the embroidery machine. And it's going to end up looking like it was all done at once, but it's going to be broken up into several hoopings. Now, we've done this before. If you followed along with my Oh So Delightful Sew Along or the Candy Corn Quilt Shop Sew Along, y'all have seen that we've done borders before. This time, however, when I was doing my research for Candy Cane Lane, I saw that Kim at Kimberbell showed a new technique once. And she showed it a long time ago, but I'm just catching up now on a little bit different way of doing borders than what we have done in the past. So we're going to go over that today. So what you are going to need, and I did some of my homework, but not all of it. I did cut all of my patchwork fabric pieces. These are cut to 3.5 by 4 3/4 and interfaced all of them before I trim them. Okay. You are going to need 9 pieces of fabric to go across. So see if we could see this. So this is my 9 pieces of fabric that is sewn together with a 1/4 inch seam allowance and then pressed the seams open on the back. So this is the top, and then I started the bottom, but I didn't finish it, so we can really see it from the beginning. So I've pieced some of it together. So we need to add the rest, which now I've lost the order I wanted to sew this in. Let's see. Yeah, that's right. Okay. I had them stacked. So we are going to piece the rest of these to add on to this strip. And what I did, and this is all going to be personal preference, is my top and bottom are not matching. So you can see I haven't finished it yet, but just comparing, my top border is a little bit different than my bottom border. So you can do this however you want. These were all random fabrics that I had. I think 2 of them are actually Kimberbell fabrics, the red star and the green star. Those are some Kimberbell fabrics I had left over from other kits. I used the same red that I used on the red house, the red and the peach. And I think that's it. All the rest are kind of like new fabrics that I just thought blended in. So I did a variety of greens, reds, and some light blues. All right, so that is the top and bottom border. Then we're going to have that's the outer border. Then we're going to have the inner border. And for that, you're going to need a 1.5 inch wide strip. I think it ends up being 38, 39 inches in total length. I haven't cut the length yet because I figured we'll get that once we have everything pieced together. But we're going to quilt this strip. And so I have 2 like this that have the interfacing on the back. So that's what you're going to need for today. And also you could see right here, you see that little strip in the middle there? That's where I cut my interfacing so that I didn't have to cut that long of a strip on. I have a bolt. So I didn't have to cut a 40-inch strip going that way. I just cut some that were a little bit shorter and then pieced it together on the back of the fabric. As long as the fabric itself is the one length, you are good. All right. Yes, so Joanna has the fabric kit, so that's awesome. And so she just laid hers out and looked at the picture. And I kind of did the same thing. I was looking at, okay, we got red, green, light blue, green, red, light blue, and so on. So I kind of tried to get a similar look as the example picture. But yeah, just lay it all out, play with it, see what you think looks the best. For interfacing, I am using Pellon SF101. For our friends that are joining for the first time for this sew along, this is like class number 9, I think. We started this back before Thanksgiving, and the first class goes over everything you need for this project. And the first link you should see below this video is going to bring you to the Candy Cane Lane Sew Along homepage on my website. And that's going to have links to all the supplies that we're using. But yes, Pellon SF101 is what I use to interface all the fabrics pretty much for this whole pillow. All right, so let's go to the sewing machine and finish piecing together this. And then we'll press it open and then get everything ready for the embroidery machine to quilt. So we need to go over here. All right. Let's see if my camera never fails. I always make my camera legs be in my way when I'm trying to sew. Let's move this a little bit. Okay. So here's my finished piece. Here are my 3 more pieces. Let me wake my machine up. So what I'm doing is I just go to the end and do right sides together, line them up. I am a little bit lazy when it comes to these kinds of things, and I don't pin or clip anything. I feel like they're short enough to where I can't really mess them up. But if you are unsure or you want it to be just right, then go ahead and put yourself some pins in there. I'm using a 1/4 inch guide foot on my machine, and I'm doing a regular kind of standard piecing stitch that is loaded on my machine, but it says I got a 2 millimeter stitch length. And I have it set up to do a locking stitch when it starts and when it ends. So, and then my little guide foot helps me keep my straight line. And I got some tape and I'm doing everything I can to help me have a straight line. Tape and a little laser thing. And then once it gets to the end, I press my locking stitch button. It's kind of the same as a back stitch. I like the locking stitch because it doesn't go back and forth. It kind of barely moves to get that in. So you can see there is our pieced section. And now we go on to the next one, right sides together. Line everything up. Okay. One more. Okay, and then I'll do my lock and stitch. Okay, and then last one. Open that up. Put this right side together. Okay, and now we are done with the patchwork for this border, and we just need to go iron everything. All right, let's see if my camera is deciding. Something, I don't know what, but like I can move my camera around, but it won't let me zoom in and out for some reason today. So hopefully this is all the space we're gonna need as far as y'all can see. Oh, and my iron went to sleep. I am absolutely loving my new iron. I've been using it a bunch since I got it in last week, and I love it. I think I'm going to be using this one literally all the time, like not even use my Auric really anymore. I feel like this actually replaces both the mini and my large iron, um, with being one, even though it's one size, because it's like small enough to be in the hoop, but big enough to actually get some work done when I got bigger pieces. So I am using my quilt clapper to press these seams a little better, because with this interfacing, it is it's a bit stiff, and it doesn't lay down as easily as if it would just be the fabric by itself. So I find the quilt clapper helps with that. All right, so did everyone have a good weekend? Y'all do anything fun? We were busy nonstop this weekend with different parties and events. Oh, Abigail's little Christmas sleepover party she did with her friends turned out really cute and fun. And we learned that we can have a clean house and that my children will help me if their friends are coming over. I was telling them on Sunday or Saturday or Sunday, I'm like, look, I said, now we just got to keep it this way. Y'all just have to pick up after yourselves and we can keep it looking this nice. All right. Okay, Joanna has a question. Let me put it up. All right. What is the trick to getting close trimming applique? Is it best to trim clockwise, counterclockwise? Okay. For me, I am constantly turning my project. I think I work this way, so that would be counterclockwise, but I'm right-handed, so that would depend on what's your dominant hand. Practice is really the way to go. Like, just do some, scrap fabric, do some random shapes of appliques on scrap fabric, and just practice trimming. Scissors are also a big component. Like, I found that I work the best with my tweezer scissors, which I'm proud to say they are both in the location they are supposed to be right now. So no lost scissors today. But the tweezers I maneuver the best with. The fact that they curve up. I can get super close to the stitch line. I think all of those things play a role, but really with everyone, the more you do it, the better you get. Okay, so Trish says she has better luck trimming counterclockwise too. Oh, yay. Loretta was in a community play all weekend, 4 shows. Ooh, yay. That is fun. And also, you must be very tired. I think about those people that work in the Broadway industry and in theater, and how they put on 6 or 8 shows a week. Like, that is crazy. Crazy, but seems so fun at the same time. All right, Loretta says she needs better scissors. Yeah, my first and favorite pair was the Havels, and those are not too expensive. The Kimberbell ones are also nice too. I think they cost a little bit more. I want to say like they're in the 30s, and you could get the Havels in the 20s. All right. Yeah, she said, I'm exhausted. I ignored my house. I would definitely ignore my house as well. Okay. So we have ironed our patchwork and are ready. So that is all done. Yay, pretty. Now I have this, and also I do this every single time. I cut my 2 strips, and then I remembered I wanted to interface the back. I think I did the same thing with the last 2 quilts when it came to the inner border. Iron your interfacing on your fabric for the inner border first. Then cut your strips, and then you won't be left with like me where I got little white pieces hanging off the edges, but that's okay. All of that's going to go in the seam allowance. But I've ironed this way, and I really didn't. I ironed some spots from this side, but I was nervous about catching these edges and getting adhesive on my iron. I tried to trim some of it off with my ruler too, but I wasn't having the best of luck, so just leave it alone. So your inner borders 1.5 inches wide, and I want to say the length was 38.5 long, but I just did the width of fabric, and then we'll figure it out once it's time to piece everything together. So we're going to lay this on the side and the borders on the side. And the one thing I wanted to do before we started today's class, and I didn't get to it, was trim the batting. So previously, when we've done quilted borders, we did not pre-cut our batting, really. You would hoop the stabilizer, you would stitch a placement stitch for batting, you would put your batting down, and then it would stitch a tack down stitch, and you would trim it just like an applique. And it would only be the length of whatever design you had open in the hoop. So if it was a 10-inch one, you'd only have 10 inches of batting. Now your strip was one continuous piece, but your batting was split up into whatever hoop you were doing. This different method of doing borders, we will trim the batting exactly like the border fabric. So we will cut a strip of batting for the outer border and inner border. So I had not done that yet. And I want to say when you cut the batting, it's going to be the finished size. So like this right now is 3.5 because the finished size is 3-inch. So we'll cut the batting to be 3 inches wide. This inner border is 1.5 inches right now, but the finished size is 1 inch. So I'll cut my batting to be 1 inch wide. And I'm just going to cut around probably 39 inches. Let's see if I even have a piece long enough. Goodness, I might not even be able to do this. I have to go open up a new package of batting. That should be long enough. Let's see. This is long enough, I think. Let me fold it in half and then measure it. Okay, I got about 22, so what's that, 44. So what I'll do is try to line this up nice. And cut some strips of batting. Sorry, it looks crazy right here because of the stuff looks so white. Let me turn my lights down. Okay, now it looks a little better. Too bright. I'm going to trim off this little edge here just so that it's a nice clean edge. And let me get that. Okay, so all right, now we got a good clean edge, and now we'll cut 3 inches. Trying to make it line up just right. There we go. Okay, and now I have my three-inch long piece of batting. Another 3-inch. Make sure nothing's under there. I don't want to cut on accident. Okay. Okay, so now I got 2 long pieces for my outer borders. Now I need 2 little skinny 1-inch pieces for my inner border. Trying to make sure this all stays together right. Okay, 1 inch. Little tiny one. Okay. Little skinny one. Uh-oh. Didn't cut good there. Okay. And now this one. Okay. All right, now we have all our batting strips. Oops, this one. Okay, so now that we have all of that together, we are now going to talk about how to set the hoop up and how, if you want to do more than one at a time in your hoop, to make this a little bit easier. All right, so I got my batting, I got my strips. Now, this is all going to depend on what hoop size you're using. And let's go in and talk about, oops, let me get Embrilliance open. And, oops, okay, and find my designs. All right, so here's Embrilliance. Here's my folders, Candy Cane Lane. These are the quilting designs. This is the one we've been using the whole time. Now we're here at the border quilting. They have instructions. Let me go ahead and pull those up so I have them in front of me on my computer. And let's look at the embroidery files. We're still doing block by block. If you pieced your whole pillow top together and wanted to use clear blue tiles after, you can do that as well. But we are choose your font format of choice. And then let's look at this a little bit closer. So we have 1 by 7, 1 by 10, 1 by 12, 1 by 14. That is your inner border. You also have the choice to make your inner border a little thicker if you wanted, a 2-inch wide. And then it comes in 4 different lengths depending on your hoop size. So if you're using a 5 by 7 hoop, you're going to do everything. You're going to do multiple hoopings of the 7-inch long one. If you have a 6 by 10 hoop, you'll do several hoopings of the 10-inch long one. And 8 by 12 hoop, you could do this one. If you have a 9.5 by 14, you could do this one. And if you want your border to be a little thicker, choose the 2-inch. Now, these patterns are different from this point on. So let's open up this one, for instance. This is the design for the inner border. Let's make my hoop a 6 by 10 hoop. And so we can see that. I could put that there, and I can duplicate it and put another one here. But I just want you to see what they look like. Then this is the 3-inch. I think I'm going to do this one in my bigger hoop. So let's do the 3 by 14. There we go. You see how it's a different pattern? There you go. So you can see the difference. So your 1 and 2-inch wide options are going to be this design, and 3-inch and they have some even wider options are going to be this design. So you can go wider than 3 inches if you want. They have 4 inches wide, 5 inches wide, and 6 inches wide. Again, in all 4 different lengths. Okay. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is use my 6 by 10 hoop. Probably 3 times, 4 times. I'll probably use my 6 by 10 hoop 4 times to get my inner border. And then use my 9.5 by 14 hoop, probably maybe 3 times, or I'll do 2 times in the 14 and then 1 time in a smaller hoop. And just for fun, I want to see if we can fit all of them. Oops. In one hooping. I haven't played with this. So let's open the 3-inch by 14 again. Okay, so I got one with that. All right, let's do. No, I probably couldn't fit. I was wondering if I could fit the inner borders and the outer borders in one hooping. Maybe you could on the Luminaris. Because like, watch, let me copy, paste. You'll have enough room just for one inner border, probably not 2. And then like, where's my stuff? Let me go pick the 1 by 14 and drag and drop. Yeah. So it doesn't help me much. So I think I'll stick with just doing, it'd be super tight. Let's see, copy, paste. Because I'm thinking about it. Technically, there is no overlap. Like where the boxes are, the fabric is going to fit perfectly. So I don't have to worry about fabric from this getting in, overlapping this area. That space in between the blue lines, that's how much space you would have between your pieces of fabric. So it could be done. It could be done. But I think if you're adventurous, try this. But if you want to play it safe, let's keep it to where we have our outer borders and our inner borders in their own hoopings. Okay. And then for me, it's like I have the 14-inch hoop. I could do the 1 by 14, but I feel like that's such a waste of space because it's still 9.5 inches wide and I don't need that width. I think the 6x10 hoop is a good one to work with the inner borders. All right, so with this new method of doing the batting cut to size and length, we no longer need the first two steps. So normally with quilted borders, your first step is a placement for the batting. It's very similar to our background quilting. Normally it's just in a strip instead of a block size. Placement for batting, tack down for batting. Placement for fabric, tack down for fabric. One thing you will notice though is, like, look at these lines. That's the placement. The tack down is slightly in. So when we stitch the placement stitch, our fabric will fit in it perfectly, the width, but it will actually go and stitch a smidge inside of that, which is great. And then the actual background quilting. So I can skip these two since with this new method I'm doing. So I'm going to delete those two steps. Delete, delete. So I only have 3 steps. Placement, tack down, quilting. And now that I've adjusted that the way that I want, I'm going to copy and paste it and do another one. Wait, that's not right. Delete. All right. Copy, paste. There we go. And I'm just going to move it over here on the other side of the hoop. And now one more thing we can do to make this so that it works together is we can color sort. And as long as these 3 steps are all different, 3 different colors, all we have to do is go to Utility, Color Sort, and then hit New View. Now when we stitch it, it's going to stitch the placement for both, the tack down for both, and the quilting for both. But it made my hoop ginormous. Go back here. Okay, so this is the file I'm actually going to send to my machine. Let me zoom though. Just to make my life easier, I want to make sure these two are, oh wait, I have to go back to the original. This is it, right? Our 3 steps. So instead of it doing one at a time, we're going to do matching steps with each other. But I want to make sure these are actually even at the top. So I'm going to select everything. I'm going to go to my Align and Distribute. And I'm going to go to Center horizontally. Nope, that's not what I want. Go to Undo. Center vertically. And that's just so that it, oh wait, I have to have everything selected, Carly. All right, there we go. Center vertically. And it just moved a smidge to where they both are lined up at the top and bottom. That's what I wanted. Just so that when I'm doing my laying things down, I think that will make my life easier. All right, so I'm going to go to Utility. No, that's not what I wanted. Utility, Color Sort. New View. Now this one is aligned and grouped by color. This is what I'm sending to my machine. Okay, now let's go. That I'll do in the 6x10 hoop. This is the outer border. So first I will delete the first 2 steps, just press and delete on my keyboard. Then I'll select it, move it over here. Then I'll hit copy, paste, move it over here. And then I'll select everything, align and distribute, center V, apply, close. Okay, now it's all aligned. And now we just need to group it. So Utility, Color Sort, New View. And it's showing my other hoop. Every time I open up a new thing, it changes the hoop to what it was before. That's not it, this one. There we go. Okay, so there's the file I want to send for my outer borders. And this is the file I want to send for my inner borders. So let me save that to my USB stick real quick. And then I can check and see any questions about that stuff. Let's see, I'm going to name this inner border 10-inch. Save. And this one, save stitch file. This one's going to be outer border 14-inch. Save. Okay. And I need to eject my USB stick. All right. I'm reading Trish's comment. She got some Guggenheim scissors on really good sale. My husband's going to pitch a fit, but that's okay. That's how he gets his cardio. That I am so using that. I'm so using that. Love it. Hi, Sharon. Yes, drive safely. And our Lewis said she got her scissors delivered to her neighbor's house. Love it, love it. All right, I'm just checking the chat. All right, so no questions about embrilliance with the borders. Y'all feel good about that? So now let's get the hoops out. Let's do the inner border first. So I got my 6x10 hoop, and I'm still using the same stabilizer, my lightweight cotton muslin. Just going to continue using that for this like we've done everything else. Hooping that. Okay, and there's something else we need to do. We need to kind of glue and fuse the fabric with the batting. So let's do that. All right, so I'll lay this out in a section you can see. Also, maybe let me measure this. Why is this so different? Okay. I'm at about 40 inches. Let me trim off this little bit of selvage. Right here. Ah. Okay. And I'm opening this up, and what I think some tips that I learned were fold your batting in half. Be helpful if I folded it the right way. Okay. And we're going to kind of start in the middle. So the middle is right on the side of where my piece section was. So something like that. And so we're going to, when we glue it, we'll start in the middle and press our way out, because you know the batting does tend to stretch and stitch. And your options for getting this on there are either your Elmer's glue stick or your spray adhesive. But I find the Elmer's is a lot easier. so go ahead and line up your whole strip with glue. I got too much glue in some sections. Okay. Easy and sticky. Okay. Got that. Lay my batting, and you kind of just laying it in the center. So just eyeball the center, and you'll have a 1/4 inch on either side. All right, so this is kind of what we're working with. And my batting is longer than I need. And so you have something like this. All right, so that's one that's done. And now do the next. Okay, yes, Joanna. Sorry if I'm confusing you. So this newer method, we are not stitching any placement for the batting. We're not stitching placement for the batting or tack down for the batting. So I deleted the first 2 stitches for the border quilting. It's a little different than how I do the background quilting. I delete different steps because I do the batting and I'm not gluing it together like this. So with this method, we will only need the placement stitch for the fabric, and the batting is already adhered to the fabric. Now, granted, we are eyeballing putting the batting on the back of this fabric in the center. If you want it to be more precise, which by all means I don't blame you, then don't cut your batting to size like this. Or you can even. But just have your batting ready, maybe even a little bit thicker, wider than what it needs to be, and then run the batting placement stitch, place your batting on top, run the batting tack down stitch, trim your batting, and then do the steps in order, all 4 of them for the batting and the placement. This is just a new trick to help skip steps and save time, which I am usually all about. All right, now that I have my glue, I'm gonna start from one end to the other this time. Oh, I never trimmed. I'll trim it after. I never trimmed my selvage off the ends of this one. Okay, so now our inner border, the batting is there, and it is centered, interfaced, all the things. All right, this is more than what we need. One thing I think I will do though, I saw where you start, have like a 1/4 inch of no batting. And so then your batting won't be in your seam when we sew the front to the back together. So this is my starting point. I have about a 1/4 inch of no batting, and this is where I'll start. So same with this one, 1/4 inch of no batting. This will be the top of my 2 inner borders. Okay, I think now we're ready to go to the machine. Let me double check. Karen, 14 degrees. No way, Jose. This is the first time she's done one of these projects. A little hard at first, but now I got it. After Christmas, I'm going to work on my other ones. Yay! I'm excited for you, Karen. Okie dokie. So I need to switch my machine back over to embroidery because it is on sewing. So first thing, let me remember to change my bobbin back to my embroidery bobbin. Also, I need to decide what color thread I am using for my background quilting. I was thinking white, but are there any other fun colors we can do? All right, so I'm putting my embroidery foot back on. Really simple. You just gotta unscrew this one screw right here, tighten it. Now on my machine, my embroidery has this plug that goes in the back there, and boom, ready for embroidery. I just have to tell my machine I want to do embroidery now. Now it will move the carriage. Ta-da! All right, and I need to plug in USB. Candy cane lane, inner border. Okay, set, embroider. Alrighty then. What color should I do? I guess white, right? Yeah, I'm gonna do white. I think that's gonna look good. That's what I did on my other background quilting. Okay, so I got my hoop with my stabilizer, white thread. The first stitch is going to show me where to put my fabric. Karen, I like your thoughts. She says metallic thread might be nice. I do like that idea. Pretty silver. I have silver somewhere. If I were silver, where would I be? But I see my other colors, but I don't see silver. I see red. I got green. Got blue. Hey, silver. Found it. That would be pretty. Okay, so I got silver. Wait, we'll see how this looks. All right, let's go back to the craft table because we need to add some adhesive here and here. Okay, so y'all can see my little white boxes now. we're going to add some glue, help keep our stuff in place. Okay. And with this first one, I want to take my ends that have my little 1/4 inch here. And what I'm going to do is have that poking out the top, and I'll have the top of my batting actually line up with this line here. But you see my fabric fits perfectly in these boxes, right? You'll see that? So same with this one. I make it to where the batting bit lines up at the top and have this little bit of overhang here. And what's going to help guide us for the next hooping is actually this stitch line, the bottom of our little boxes that we see in the stabilizer. That's going to be our guide, and we'll use that line in the stabilizer to line up with the next hooping here. Okay. Once you get things in place, you can use some tape to help make sure it doesn't move. I'm putting the tape outside the area. And let me tell you, Abigail came in here the other day to wrap some of her friends' presents because, you know, they take over my tables. She used this tape to wrap her present. I saw it after. I'm like, really? Really? So first off, hey, present doesn't look that great because it's got a bunch of white tape on the wrapping paper, but then you using my good tape. I can't win. All right, we got that in place. Now we're ready for the quilting. Let's switch to my pretty thread. And hope my machine does not give me any trouble with my pretty thread. I had a little spool cap here. There we go. Okay, cross your fingers. Also, you're probably going to want to have your stiletto handy. It's barely going to catch the inside of your fabric here when it does. Oh wait, I didn't want to do that. I'm wrong. The next stitch is the tack down. I'm going to do that in white. Save my metallic for just the quilting. Okay, we got to babysit right here because it's barely going to catch the inside of the fabric here. So have your stiletto ready and maybe like smush things over or whatever if you need to. And it starts stitching outside, but it jumps in. So it's starting outside. Now it jumps in. And this stitch will get hidden in the seam allowance. Don't worry about that. Whatever color you use to stitch it. If you want to be safe, you could stitch it in a color that's close to your fabric. Looks good. Yeah, Loretta. So I'm thinking about your machine. You could open up the 7-inch border on an embrollient with your multi-positionable hoop and just split it. You should be able to fit 2 of the inner borders in one hooping, and then just 1 of the outer borders at a time. Another option for you would be if you have a sewing machine and want to do like just some free motion, just little squigglies up and down, and then not even machine quilt them if you want. That's an option for you. But you, with your 4x4 machine, you should be able to use your multi-positionable hoop and get 2 of these in one hooping, but only 7 inches long, and just split the design. You'll need to go back and forth with stitching the placement stitch on one hooping, then upload the second design, stitch the placement stitch, go back to the first design, put your stuff down, go back to the first design, stitch half of your tack down, go back to the second design, stitch your other half of tack down, and then go back and do your first quilting and your second. So it's going to be a lot of back and forth with that particular one, but it should split decently. Okay, now cross your fingers and let's hope this metallic thread works nicely and gives us a pretty look. So I'm just watching it feed off of my spool holder. That's pretty. Very pretty. Okay, and that's where it's going to stop. And then when we finish this and rehoop it, we're going to make it to where this one starts right underneath one. So the only difference with the beginning of this and the end of this is the next set won't have a line coming to it right here. Like all the other ones have a little line connecting the leaves. This one won't have a line. Let's see. I don't think the seam would cause a problem. If you're essentially doing it just like I am, where your batting is smaller than your border fabric, then you won't have any batting in your seam allowance. Yeah, I like the silver metallic too, Karen. Thanks for the suggestion. Very pretty. All right, so that is done. And now we will unhoop, trim, and then get ready for our second hooping. So that's what it looks like. Hard to tell with the lighting, but it's pretty. Okay, so here it is. Very pretty. I'm going to save my tape. Okay, unhoop. And this is where this is where a lot of my strips came from on my, all my scraps I had. A lot of them came from the borders because you can get some nice strips this way. So I'm going to trim my stabilizer. Okay, save that for the next hooping. And then also trim around this whole bit. I think I did this way. I got a real thick long one. Okay, so a bunch of strips of stabilizer now. Patch together for when I run out again. But we have our first hooping done. So now we're going to start over. And when it does the second box, this is where we're going to line it up with. So we have a stitch line right here at the bottom of our stabilizer. That's where we're going to line up the next one. And it will start stitching. And you won't be able to tell where it finished and where one started. So same thing. We use that as our guide. So even though our batting is continuous, our stabilizer is not. And that's what we're using as a placement guide for the next hooping. So let's do it again. See if I get lucky. Do I get lucky? No, I did not get lucky. This piece is not big enough for my hoop. And now I have to remember where I put my extra stabilizer. Here. Let's see, here's a piece. Is this piece? Hey, this piece is good. Okay. Okay, have that in. And now go back and start over. So I'll go back to my white thread for my first two steps. Okay, it's automatically going back to the beginning of my design, so I just need to hit start and stitch my placement stitch again. All right. Yay, everybody likes the silver metallic. I think it looks great. I want to get some white kind of metallic thread too, Linda. I think that would be nice to have. All right, once that's finished, I'll go back to the craft table and glue and place everything. Okay. All right, so got my placement spot. Now add your adhesive. Okay. All right, now we need to get our placement right. So take where the last one ended, fold it up. So if I want to even be a little bit help me a little better, I'm going to trim that stabilizer off right up to that line. And now I'm going to lay this down right there. So this line is almost right on top of the line of my box. And once I have that figured out, I can flip this back over and lay the rest of my fabric as it should be fitting in that box. And then I'll reuse my tape. And tape things in place. There we go. Okay, now this one, let's see. Okay, kind of fold it right there on that line. Place it. Fold it back over. And now make sure all the rest of it lines up where it's supposed to. And tape in place. All right, now we can go and tack that down. Put it on the right camera. Yep, okay. All right, still using my white thread. Now it's just gonna catch right on the inside of that fabric. And it's cool because I could see my white line that was still on the last one and my new white line. They met up perfectly right there. Y'all see that? So like, see if this one does. This one's just a smidge over. This one lined up perfectly. Yeah, this one wasn't lined up as good, but I don't think we'll be able to tell. All right, now we're ready for our metallic thread, and we'll really see how it looks. Might have actually been a little too close because like this leaf is pretty much touching the bottom of that leaf, but it looks good. Okay, that looks nice. And now this one, let's see, it's gonna be shifted a smidge, but I don't think it will be super noticeable. What? Wait, let me go check on my dog. Go lay down. Go lay down. There you go. Let's see. Yeah, Joanna, great point. She says I can use this one that is a tiny bit misaligned on the bottom and it won't be as noticeable. All right. So let's go check it out. Y'all could see. Why did you jump out the bed again, silly dog? What? I can't help you now. He's looking at me like, bring me downstairs. Okay. So let me take the tape off. Okay. Now we trim the stabilizer. Okay. I don't cut my actual strips because that would be something I would do. Okay. All right, so now I want y'all to see. So from a distance, hard, I think, definitely. Up close, you could see, you see how those two leaves kind of touch and the rest have a bit of space? Sorry if it's not focusing. All right, and then here from far away looks decent. And up close, you could see the shift from here, and it kind of shifted that way a little bit. But I think it's still pretty. So still, hard to tell. We are our harshest critics, definitely. So this is our inner border. Your homework is to continue and finish all of this by Wednesday. Wednesday, we need it done so that we can put everything together. All right. So let's start the outer borders now. And those I'm going to do in a bigger hoop to save myself some time and rehooping. But this is all going to be based on what size machine you have, what size hoop you have on your machine. This is my 9.5 by 14 hoop. I can't even get it to fit in the camera picture area. But I am got my stabilizer. I almost wanted to say like faux stabilizer. I have my faux stabilizer. Let's see. This works. Let me cut myself some of these so that, because I know I got to do multiple hoopings. Let me get things out of my way so I don't accidentally cut my nice patchwork border on accident, because I have that like right at the end there where it might accidentally get cut. So let's put that away. Put this away. Give myself a little bit more room. I'm sorry, I know y'all can't see everything of what I'm doing right now, but I'm just cutting myself some stabilizer. Okay. And now I got 2 pieces. Ready for this big giant hoop. Fauxlizer. Yes. Love it. It's my fauxlizer. We should trademark that. Definitely. All right. All right, tighten this guy up. And it's the same exact process with your outer border. It's just bigger pieces, and in my case, bigger hoop. So let's zoom back out. And telling me it's got to move because it recognizes I got a bigger hoop in now, so that moved. I'm gonna go back to my white thread. Now I have to actually get out of this inner border design and switch to my outer border design. Let me go. Okay. And outer border. Why this pattern cannot be used. Why you don't like me? Okay. It must think it's too big. Now let's go back to Embrilliance and open this up and see what did I do that was not right. Either I have them spaced too far apart and it's outside the hoop, but I didn't notice that when I made it. So let's go over. All right, this is the design I sent. Ooh, I got the wrong hoop selected. Look down here, 10 and 11, 16. I have them, and I must have had, yep, I had the wrong hoop selected. So in my case, it will fit, but it's too far apart. I have too much space in between them. So I know exactly why it would not open now. So let me go find that design. Well, actually, no, I don't even have to do that. Okay, so I'm back at my original one. I still had it open and in Brilliance. Let me change my hoop. This one, 9 by 14, apply. There we go. So you see, that's why I wouldn't open it, too big. So I already have them aligned, so I'm just going to use my keyboard arrows to smush them in. Nope, that's not right. There we go. So that I don't mess up that they're not aligned. Okay, now I don't have no more little red bar at the bottom, and they fit, but they're still not sorted. Let's sort them, color sort, new view. All right, all done. Now we can save it, and I'm just going to replace that file. So I'm going to go to Save Stitch File As. I'm going to go find where I look right here. I had outer borders. Save. It's going to say I got something like that already. Nope. Let's see. Yeah, it replaced it, but it didn't even tell me I had to replace it. It just did it. Okay, no worries. All right, now I can eject that and go back to my machine. All right, that was an easy fix. But that's usually the problem for most people is if your machine's not open in the design, it's because it's too big. It's not going to let you open something that's too big. And it may not even be like in our case, it wasn't too big. It was just spaced too far apart, which made it the overall design too big. Okay, it's reading the USB stick again. Click on it. Now open. Now it works. But that was just me having the wrong hoop open in Brilliance. And you can always see which hoop is open by looking at that bottom status bar on the screen. It tells you the size of the hoop and it tells you the size of your design. All right, embroider. I got my white thread on. All right, first thing is those placement stitches. So let's let that go. Oh, yay, Dan. So she used some of the designs from the Christmas runner that we did last year. That is this guy right here. So this was last year's Sip and Stitch holiday workshop that I did. And we had some Christmas tree and some present designs. So yeah, that would be fun to incorporate that into this. Very fun. All right. So that is done. And now we need to add some glue. So I got my white boxes here and just adding some glue. I just hold in my fabric as I do it so I'm not pulling on it so much. So I don't want to warp how it is in the hoop. Okay, that should be good. And now we have our, we never added the quilting on the back of here. I forgot about that. So we need to add glue on the back of all this. Okay. All right, so that's done. And here is my batting. So I'll do the same thing I did on the other one. I will start the batting about 1/4 of an inch from the end right there, and then just center it and press it down as I go. Okay, and then I had my batting strip was cut too long, so I will just trim that about 1/4 of an inch from the end there. But this more than likely will get trimmed. We're going to see. So yeah, I'm doing this so that it won't be in the seam allowance on the sides, but I think more than likely both of these ends are going to get trimmed. It's not going to go perfectly to right here. So, but we'll see. All right, and just so that we're all on the same page, I'm going to measure my patchwork so that y'all know what I want to say. It's supposed to be 38.5 inches. Okay, right before this is 30. I got 39. 39 for this. Wow, if the batting was 38.5, I don't know. That would make more sense. But okay, so we got this one done. I still need to do the other one. Okay. And same thing. Let me take my strip of batting. Yay, I'm glad you were able to get it, Diane. I know I've been eyeing up this pillow for years. I want to say it was one of the first Kimberbell projects I saw. Like it caught my eye and then I went down the spiral. Okay, so got that. And trim that. And we have our top outer borders ready to go now. And let me just smooth out from the top direction now. Okay. Now we can go back to our hoop. Hopefully this should still be sticky. And this is my top one. And remember, I am lining up my batting to this line, but still my fabric in it. Okay. Looks right. And then here's my bottom. Again, this is the stitch line right here. I know it's a little hard to see on camera. That's what I am making my fabric go a smidge past that. I got these easy lines on either side just to make sure my fabric is in the right spot. And I'm gonna have to use some new pieces of tape for this one. Okay, take those in place. And then down here, let's see, yeah, my line is right here, so I can tape anywhere down here. Let me make sure I'm on a nice flat surface. Okay, all that's in place. Now we can go do the tack down stitch. So you can see all the process is the same. It's just bigger. I just have enough room with this hoop because it's like almost hitting the blinds. It's hitting my curtains, but not hitting the blinds yet. In my window back there. I'm just smoothing this out. It really doesn't need to be, but it's just habit. All right. All tacked down and in place. Now I'll do this in metallic thread too. Okay. And now we start the actual quilting. Now the quilting on this one has like a swirl on this end and a swirl on this end. So this is a lot more forgiving when it comes to them meeting up because the swirls, the spacing is like, it's nothing super specific. Then a lot, where you could see if it was misaligned like that inner border. I would say this one is a lot more forgiving. Let's see. Yeah, I wanted to show. Okay, so Loretta, we were talking about if it would be a pain in the butt for you to do your border quilting on your machine for that table runner I was showing you. This is last year's Sip and Stitch Holiday Workshop. What we did was we made each of these blocks in the hoop. And then when we were done, I pre-quilted fabric on my machine. So I just took my top fabric and basted it with some batting and had a big old rectangle of it. And I just did line quilting, or in this case, like diamond shape quilting. Can you see the pattern there? So, and then once I quilted that big piece of fabric, then I cut my strips for my border. So that's an option for you as well. So just like kind of pre-quilt a big piece of fabric and whatever kind of easy design you want, whether you want to do free motion and do some swirls and squigglies, or line quilting is super easy to do. And then we had embroidered cornerstones on this one. Okay. While that is stitching, I'm going to go run and get my presents from my advent calendar. We got 3 of them to open today because I didn't do any of them. So what do we need? We need 13, 14, and 15. Okay, I found 15, 13, and 14. Okay. Some little presents to open from Missouri Star Quilt Company. So these are our 3 presents I missed from the weekend. So this one was Saturday. So this is 13. This feels like maybe scissors. Maybe scissors. This might go nicely in my little organizing case. Let's flip. Nope. Oh, yay. I love the flat bracelets. Flat bracelets. And oh, a project pattern for fat quarters. Ooh, so are we getting some fat quarters later? This is a snappy pouch. Oh, I like that. So the snap bracelets are incorporated into the sewing, and it makes it to where it snaps. I love this. This looks like something super easy that I could sew. Oh, that's precious. Love it. Oh, I can make some of these real quick for Christmas. Yay. All right. That was Saturday. All right. This one was Sunday. This fat quarters. Let's see. No. Oh, very pretty. We got some ornaments in the really pretty Missouri Star quilting designs. I love the color. Super cute. Nice. And today's, let's see. Cute little tin jar. Oh, I love this color. Let's see. So it's a little tin jar. And oh yeah, it's got all kind of little tools in it. Let's see. So these are to hold bobbins and stuff, huh? Very cute. Oh yay, I need these. I don't hand sew often, but when I do, I usually hurt myself. All right. The only one of these I know for sure are these are the spool holders, right? So like let me get a spool of thread. All right, so like here's my, am I thinking about this right? So like here's my red thread, and I wrap my thread and it goes like this, and it keeps the thread from unraveling. So that's that. I think these go in the top of the spool like this, right? And these hold bobbins. So maybe I put that here. So do I put this, does the bobbin fit in there? Let's see what we got. Okay. Here's a bobbin. I guess that could, yeah. It's a little tight. And then I would do obviously the matching bobbin. This goes in here. No, I'm wrong. Then I just do this. There's nothing holding that. Where's my sewing friends that know these things? Maybe this. Open, 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 open. There we go. Yeah, that looks better. And then what is this for? Okay, so that clips the bobbin. What is this guy for? This doesn't look like, maybe, oh, it does fit that. It does, but it doesn't hold the thread in. Okay, so I can tighten, have it like this. This actually hold my thread. And does this go like this? I don't think it works as well. Well, maybe so. Okay. It's all safe and sound now. Did I do this right? It looks funny. Um, that clips the bobbin thread. Okay. This is cute. I like all the bright colors. And then these are like thimbles, right? But they're silicone, so I still feel like I'm going to poke myself. Maybe this is not meant for really. Oh, are these like grippies? These are not. Yeah, this is more like grippies. And they got numbers on them, so I'm guessing that's a pinky. That's 1. This is 2. This is 3, 4, and 5. So this is like for quilting, right? To help hold everything where it's supposed to go. They didn't give me any directions. No, Charlene, I think they assume people know these things. I'm not those people. Regular sewing, I don't know. I know some. I just don't know as much as most people. But let's see. There's probably a video. Yeah. So what Jenny does is she has the Missouri Star YouTube channel. They release a video every day of Jenny opening the present. And then she explains what the present is about. Like for this one, she'll probably show some finished work. And then some of these patterns, they'll also have a video showing you step by step how to make the things. But I'm sure most people know what all these things are for. I'm just special. But yay, I like it. I really like the 10. This is super cute to keep on my table all the time. Even just to put scraps or a little trash bin. I could actually use a little trash bin by my machine. I might keep that over there to put my loose threads in, and then keep all this stuff like in my sewing box that I have. So yay, very exciting. And let me show y'all. Oh, the silver's so pretty. I love it. Here is the quilted outer borders. Y'all can see how pretty that is. Super duper pretty. So this one, so you can see like the whole thing. Y'all see it? Isn't that cute? Super cute. All right, so this is your outer borders, and now your homework is going to be to finish getting the rest of it done. Okay, that's my homework too. But I think hopefully us going through the motion of the inner and the outer, and you saw how now we would unhoop this, trim the stabilizer, move it, do a new hooping, and move it up so that the bottom of where the stabilizer is, when we cut this out of the stabilizer, the bottom of where that stabilizer was and that stitch line, you can see this stitch line right here. That's your guide to line it up for the next hooping and the next placement stitch that you see. So you're just going to move that until you get to the end. Now I'm going to do another 14-inch hooping, and then I might only have like this much left. And that's when I can switch to a smaller hoop. If it's still easier for you to do everything in the bigger hoop, what you can do is still place it and have it stop right here and put some tape so that you help protect that edge from the getting caught in the presser foot, and just let it do its thing on the empty stabilizer. That's an option for you as well. Because like for me to go and put this in a 5x7 hoop, that would just be one hooping by itself. So it depends on what you want to do. But if you want to keep it in a big hoop and you don't have the full length, tape the bottom, protect that edge, and just let it continue doing its thing and just stitch on the stabilizer and you just trim it when you're done. All right. Yeah, Jenny's going to show me. Yeah, I need to go learn from Jenny. Okay. All right. So any questions about borders? Let me know in the chat, or if you're watching the replay, go ahead and put it in the comments. We will be back on Wednesday, December 17th. And on that day, we're going to put everything together. First, we're going to piece our blocks together. Then we're going to add the snowdrift. And then we'll add on the inner border, add on the outer border, and create the envelope backing. And this pillow does not have a binding around the edge. So it's going to have just a regular, once we get the front put together, then it's putting the back on and do like the right sides together thing. And because it's got an envelope backing, you don't have to leave a hole or anything. The hole is already there for you. So there's no binding on this one, which I'm a little happy about because I'm not the best at binding. If you wanted to add a binding though, it would be very simple. It would be like this one. Here's my example. So with this one has the envelope backing, so y'all can get an idea. So I haven't looked to see how Kimberbell says to do the envelope backing. This was just my assuming, but I have 2 pieces of fabric. I folded in this one so that I had a clean edge that's showing. And for this one, what I did was I put the wrong sides together and stitched this all the way around, had that together and ready to go. And then I went and added binding around the whole thing. So, and then I could just put my pillow form in here. So I'm pretty sure this is exactly what we're going to do with the exception of the binding. So we'll put right sides together on the front and then sew all the way around, and then we'll be able to turn it right side out through the opening. Okay. No, Joanna. So she has a great question. If I change the hoop size for my outer border here, so say I did one more hooping in my 14 hoop, and then I went and did a hooping in my 7-inch, my 5x7 with the 7-inch design. No, because the width stays constant. It's only the length that's changing. So as long as I open up the 3-inch wide design in Embrilliance or send the 3-inch design to my machine, it's the same thing. So you can do multiple hoopings in different size hoops. The length can vary for each hooping. What needs to stay constant is your width. So I'm always opening up the 3-inch wide one for this one, and I'm always opening the 1-inch wide one for this one. And I can do different lengths until you get to the overall length that you want for your pillow or for your borders. Great question. You like my Glory says she likes my envelope backing better than the Kimberbell one. Oh, right. Thanks. Let's go. Now I need to go look and see how Kimberbell likes you to do it. And yeah, we could do it whatever way we want to. All right. No problem, guys. Okay. Thanks so much for joining me today. I appreciate y'all. I will be back. I thought I had a video every day this week, but we got doctor's appointments tomorrow. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. I don't have a video tomorrow. Back on Wednesday, we'll put everything together. So the pillow will essentially be done on Wednesday. But Thursday, we'll come back and add all the embellishments. And I cheated a lot with the candy corn quilt shop quilt by hot gluing like everything. And I know that probably made a few people like cringe. But this one I'm gonna try not to cheat as much because I'm actually gonna put it on my sofa. So it's gonna get a lot more touch Like the wall hanging doesn't get touched at all. The pillow gets touched. So I'm gonna really sew my buttons on and the embellishments with a needle and thread, which I'm not very good at. So if you have tips on hand sewing, come on Thursday to tell me and everyone else. But yes, so Thursday is the last day for this sew along. We'll add all the pretty embellishments to the outside and put the little fairy lights in. It's gonna be so pretty. Then Friday, this Friday, December 19th, is our December sip and stitch. And we're making monogram towels. So it's very beginner friendly project, can be done on any machine, can be done with any fonts you already have, and make great Christmas presents. So we're just going to go through the motion of floating a towel, stabilizers to use. I'm going to show you all kind of pretty monograms you can get. And we'll even play with, if you do have in Brilliance Enthusiast, I'll show you how to add a knockdown stitch. If you have like a super fluffy towel, there's a method that you can use your software to make it to where your stitches don't get lost in the fluffiness of the towel. So I'll go over all of that on Friday. And then break, Christmas, vacation, not going anywhere, but taking a break. All right. Okay, Charlie, thank you. You don't make me oh, and Trish, I love y'all. Not cheating, improvising. And Charlene hot glues her too. Thank you. All right, love it. All right, so I will see you guys on Wednesday. Don't forget to do your homework. Somebody please message me and remind me to do my homework tomorrow after I get home from doctor's appointments. Y'all have a great rest of your Monday. See y'all next time. Bye.